Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Proactive Broadcast, and welcome to you, Diego.
Thank you.
It's good to see you behind the cameras.
Yeah.
Finally. I hope you're comfortable with it, and I hope you are comfortable out there behind your screens. Today we're going to talk about using groups in Office 365. Connected to project,
Online.
which is your expertise area.
Yes.
But I'm sure that people out there, they're really curious about who you are.
Yeah, so my name is Diego. I'm from Brazil, and I've moved to Denmark 3 years ago, and I have been working with projects since 2005. So I know Project Server 2003, 7, 10, 13, now Project Online, and Microsoft Flows and everything that is new for Microsoft. We are working here. So, and that's why today we're going to talk about how can you get all the benefits from groups and combine with Project Online. So
very exciting. And maybe actually I've prepared a quick poll just to see if people are at all knows what we are talking about today. So I'm just going to publish it. Let me see. Come on. No, here. Yes, just a moment. There you are. There's a quick poll asking you a question, and you're welcome to answer it right away. Do you know the benefits of using Office 365 groups?
Yeah, and also what is a group, right? So it's the...
Yeah, exactly.
When we present like, okay, we should use groups instead the SharePoint site, but then the customer say, but what is a group? So then if we check my slide, for example, if you go to the Google and ask what is a group, so you can get a lot of definitions. And for me, it's like, to put it simple, it's just a centralized place where you can get all Microsoft products and work with them. But you cannot use the waffle thing because it's not an app. So then that's the part that they get lost, like, well, but I want to create a group, but I cannot find here in the offer, but because it's not an app. So we have some service behind the scenes. It's basically that the user can request the group, and then you have some Azure working behind, and then the user in a few seconds will get the group ready to use, and then he can start to get all the benefits from the group. So that's the first question that we normally get. So, but what is a group and so on?
Yeah, because you already have kind of groups in other, like for instance in SharePoint, or we call that a team, a team site. But so what is actually that like the advantage of this group in Office 365?
Yeah, so basically we need to discuss first. We have 3 types of groups. So one is an Outlook type, then we have a Yammer group, and the Microsoft Teams. So basically the groups, when you get the Outlook and the Yammer feed and the Microsoft Teams, they will get almost everything. So you have conversations, you have the OneNote or notebook, and you get the files to publish your documents and so on. And then you have some specific things for Yammer, so it's more for feed. Then the Microsoft Teams, you can get more features. So basically, when you are discussing the group part with Project Online, we will check the default one. So when you create a normal group, it's basically Outlook group. And then they said, but I can create a Power BI group. Yes, you can, but behind the scene, it's an Outlook group. So that's the key points to start. So which one you need to use in your company. Today, we're going to explain everything about Project Online and Outlook group. So that's the best one to use combined.
And it also seems like the audience already knows about using groups since everybody who answered to the poll are using already groups.
That's great.
Yeah,
so we can just combine them now. And instead of using a SharePoint group, we can move to a Office 365.
So let us see if what they answer to this question.
Which one?
Did you know that it is possible to connect Office 365 group to a project online?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very exciting.
Yes. And
Because that's why we're here today, I guess.
yeah, and I think probably in Denmark we are the first one that are doing that. So
Really?
we know that SharePoint site it's really cool, have a lot of benefits and features, but you can get more with group site. So then when you check, for example, the screen here that I have, on the left side I have the group site, and then on the right we have the SharePoint site. They are quite the same, but then you have like, what is the benefit? So one hand, the SharePoint site, you can sync the schedule, and then you can show the tasks from your plan to there. So you can have the process workflow automated. You can control permissions on documents and libraries and everything. So it's pretty awesome. But then, on the other hand, Office groups, you have conversations, OneNote, calendar for the group, and not for my calendar. So instead, I create everything on my calendar and share with the team. I go to the group, create everything there, and then I share with the rest. And they receive as well on their own calendar. But it's a pretty nice way to control things for one specific project, because as a project manager, I can have more than one project running at the same time. So I don't need to control my calendar. So I use the group calendar.
And you
Right.
don't have to control several groups. You just have one group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then you can also
across the different clients.
yes,
Yes.
yeah. And you can also work with a Microsoft Planner and connect also Microsoft Teams. So I'm going to show a little bit about this left side of conversations, teams, tasks, and other specific questions.
Perfect.
So the first one I would like to explain, it's basically conversation. So why we have these conversations here? So basically, when you create a group, the group will get its own email. As you can see here on the screen, I get an email here. And then instead, every time I send email to the team members or externals, I need to download that email and then upload to the site. You just copy the email, you send together as on CC, for example, and then you will get everything saved automatically inside the group for you. So that's the cool part of using these conversations. And you'll be like a thread. So you can have a first conversation, and then when people reply, you get the thread. So you get everything saved already to the group, and you don't need to care about. And the only difference that we have is you have a public group and a private one. So if it's a public group, people from organization can go there and reply the conversation. If it's private, only members can do that. So then you need to invite more people to the group. So I think for me, when we work here as internal projects, we do this. So we create a group and then we share with the team. So and then we have everything connected there. So I don't need to say, hey, Alan, send to me that email that we discussed last month. No, I just go to the group and everything's there, ready to use and check and everything. The second one, it's about calendars. So like I said, you don't need to use your own calendar. You can go to the group, and then you click on the icon. Then you open the calendar, and then you have like a normal calendar, the Outlook calendar, and you can create everything there and share with the members. So everybody will get notifications and appointments through the group calendar. And I think it's really awesome as a project manager, because I don't need to mess up my own calendar. I just go there because I already have a lot of things to do, and it's not only projects, right? So then if you use that, it's awesome. And also, if you are owner of the group, I think it's easy to go there and say, okay, I have everything here. I don't need to save things in my computer. I know you can also use OneDrive and synchronize everything and just drag and drop folders, right? But if you can have the conversations, the calendar there, so you don't need to start using everything. If you create a group, say, okay, I just want to start with the calendar now, and 2 months later you start using the conversations and then the files, and then you can create some custom lists and so on. So it's something that it can grow.
Okay. So
smoothly.
you'd actually recommend to like take one step at a time? Like, for example, start with the calendar or?
Yeah, it will depend of the customer,
Mhm.
right? Because if they already know how to use everything, so then you can, okay, just start using.
I said,
Otherwise,
no, no,
like,
no, just use the calendar, please.
yeah, otherwise, like, start slowly, learn how to use first the conversations, then
Mm.
calendars, and then you say, okay, I can get more things here. So now I can start using Planner, I can connect to my teams, and then you get everything from the group.
Very well.
I think is the best part. So then the third one is files. It's a normal library from SharePoint. And it's the same thing when you go to the group and click on the name of the group, you will see the icon to the file. Then you can just drag and drop the files through here. And then you'll be able to see on the library. You can also connect through the phone and see everything there. So it's a normal thing. Also, we get this on a SharePoint site.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's just another way to do it using groups now. So you can get through the Outlook part.
Yeah. But okay, but you're dragging it into a group, but then it synchronizes on a SharePoint library, or?
Yeah, because the group has a library inside.
Okay.
So it's an
Like
area.
okay, yeah.
It's like a normal SharePoint site.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So then you see the documents folder. Then
Mhm.
you click, you see everything there.
Okay.
So then you can get files directly through the email, or if you could go to the group, connect, and
Yeah. Okay. And so how it is connected to project?
ah. So basically here we are using Microsoft Flow.
Yeah.
So then when you create a new project in Project Online, we start the flow. Then we create a group based on a template if you want. And then you can also create predefined folders, predefined SharePoint lists, and links. We can create some web parts, for example. And then after that, we just connect both the group together with the project online. So I have some customers that they ask, I don't want to create automatically. I want the user need to request the group. Then, okay, I create the project in Project Online. Then they need to click on a button and say, I want to create a group for this project here. It's more manual thing, but the IT can control more like, okay, are you going to use the group? So then you can get one. Otherwise, I don't need to create. Because if you compare SharePoint site with groups, so SharePoint has a limitation of 2,000 sites per tenant. And then the groups, we can get 500,000. But we know that the groups we're going to use for intranet, for specific sites for the company. So it's not only for projects. So you cannot count on that 500,000. So then we also have a specific way to archive the projects using Project Online. So when you close the projects and then you need to apply your policies and retentions and everything, we just move to another area. Then we release that group. We have everything saved in another place. They can go there and access everything. It's just to control the usage of groups.
But 500,000 groups, that's a huge amount of groups.
Yeah, but if you get a company that has 20,000 users,
yeah.
So if I create one project per user,
yeah.
then it's like already 20,000 in 1 year. Then I have a second year. Then I need to move the old or closed projects to another place to control that. But we know like it's a lot of groups. So right now you don't need to think about it, but it's for long term. So you need to check that. Then another cool thing that we have using groups and also connect to the project, it's the planner. So we know as a project managers, they were like, okay, I need to create my plan here and share with the members. But then I also want to have some external tasks, let's say in this way. And I don't want to put those tasks on my plan. So then you can just click on the planner, as I can show in the icon. Then you get the new planner created, and you can start creating the buckets for you and the tasks. You can create a due date and assign to the people. They will receive emails about the deadline and so on. So the basic view, it's a board, and then you can get a short one, showing not start task in progress, late completed, and so on. And you can also have the schedule. So you can create appointments here and everything for the teams. So you can have the calendar group, and then you can create a specific team that will work with planner. And then they will get also notifications and appointments through this calendar here. So it's a quite nice feature, and it's just click and ask to create a group, and it's done. So it's not like, oh, I need to open a ticket and I request IT permission, so on. So it's ready to use.
Perfect.
And this one, I think, for me, is the best one right now, because we have a lot of trouble to share SharePoint sites.
Really?
It's because you need a AD account.
That's why it's called SharePoint.
Yeah.
It's hard to share.
Yeah, but the point is, you need an AD account. So if I want to share with you, and you are my customer, I need to create a proactive account for you. And then I need to send the password and everything. I need to control that.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they just create an account for the company, and we don't know who is using or accessing. So what we do now, using groups, you can just share with externals. So I can get your Gmail account or any account that you have. Then I click members here, add members. Then I can add guests. So I can also add owners that will be inside my organization. But then I can click guests and add them using their own account. So I don't need to create anything on my environment and ask my IT to control.
That's very handy.
Yeah.
And it's secure enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in this way here, the guests will receive permission to collaborate. So they can delete, create new items, create lists, and do everything. You have a second option that you can share the group and give them permission only to read as a read-only. So they just read things.
Yeah.
But for me, it's the best one right now, because we got a lot of complaints. I want to share, but I don't want to create an AD account and control that, and I cannot share without these using a SharePoint site and so on.
So there are a lot of customers who really enjoys this feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So every new project online implementation, we are using group right now at Proactive. And customers that are already using SharePoint site, we are migrating them to group site, or at least planning to migrate, because they already know, like, okay, we can get a lot of benefits using group sites. It's not because SharePoint is bad, no.
No.
It's really good, but I think groups is better than SharePoint right now. And I think that's the feature, to work with everything from Microsoft, and everything's connect in one place.
Yeah.
So, and you can get all the benefits.
Okay. So is it like, now we have like a lot of different tools to use.
Yeah.
But where do you recommend to be, like, so that you don't have to like go to SharePoint to pick up that and put this in Planner and put this in groups? And is that, how do you actually operate this?
Yeah, I think it will depend of the company and the maturity, but it's because if they already work with, for example, resource engagement, portfolio analysis, so they know how to use a lot of tools from Microsoft, but they are just open a lot of web browsers and open things. So when you use group, you can just click and say, oh, I want a planner, I want a group, I want a calendar, I want a files, and so on. But otherwise, if you are new, so you can start using only the files and just store the documents there and everything. And then after some period or some months, you can say, okay, now we are ready to start using the calendars. And then after that, start with the conversations, and then you can grow.
Yeah.
Because it's not a good idea to start, so I want everything, and then probably the project is going to die soon, because it's too much change for the members of the team or for the entire company. So you need to do the adoption in the correct way as well. So start slowly, and then you grow and get everything running together.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So another cool thing that we have, it's also Microsoft Teams.
Teams.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you create the group, in this example, you can see I have a button, create a team. So you can just click, and then you create a team, and like few seconds, you get an email say, oh, you are added to this new team, so open your Microsoft Teams, so you'll get everything here.
Mhm.
So right now we are using Teams as our main tool here at Proactive.
Actually, we have some questions here. I mean, I was just focusing on you. Are you ready to take a question from the
Yes,
audience?
yes,
So, if I understand this correct, we can swap our SharePoint project sites to groups instead,
yes,
and get the benefits from groups.
yeah. So normally the project online, when you create a project, you get a SharePoint site. What will you do? You will disable that, and then we will create a group automatically and connect both for you. So you just need to define what do you need for the group. You also need a specific list. You need some documents there. You want to change a web part and show a basic information from your project there and so on. So
And another question is, by default, POL is sync to his project online.
Yeah.
Is sync to his own SharePoint site.
Yeah.
How can you build the link to Office 365 group instead?
yeah, we are using Microsoft Flow to create the group and connect them. And we could also use large apps. So it depends on the size of the company and the number of the users or number of departments. But it's basically Microsoft Flow behind the scenes doing the work and connect everything.
And one last question.
Yep.
Have you created some add-ons to Project Online, or do you just use groups out of the box?
It's out of the box. The only thing that we do is we can define a group to be as a template. Or we can just get the group from the organization, because the organization can change every week or every month something in the group. So to avoid that, we can create a template and say, I'm going to use this one related to projects. So then we create based on that template, and we can update that template when it's needed.
All right. Let's get on.
Yep. So with the teams, when you create the groups, you click to create the teams, and then you can get everything related to Microsoft Teams. So as you can see, we have also conversations. You can mention people there. You can also get files. And the cool part here, now as you can see, we have a general page here. And then when I upload something here, the Microsoft Teams, we already create a new folder for me here, and everything related to the Teams will be saved here. So then you can also here add more pages and say, I can show the project online here inside. I want to show the calendar here inside. So you have a lot of options to also use only Teams. So you don't need to go to a lot of tools. If you want to use only Teams, we can work only with Teams. So when you open the Teams, we will have everything related to this project here.
That was actually what I wanted to know before with my question, was because I don't need so many different
place to go. So
I mean, stay in one sort of client, one program. So and that's what I heard. Like a Teams is supposed to be this kind of thing that puts everything together. So can you actually be a project member, like doing a project, but only like going through Teams?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
and that's recommendable. Maybe not for the project manager. Maybe just for the project members.
Yeah, the project manager will need to control the plans using the Microsoft Desktop client and so on. But for the rest of the members, they can use only Microsoft Teams. So here I can create a chat with anyone from my organization or externals. I can connect to the groups that I have, my projects. I can upload files. I can create specific links and show like my project online inside here using iframe and so on. So you don't need to close here. Oh, now I need to open the group. Now I need to close. Now I need to go to the project online. Now I need to open Planner. So we don't want that. So just use one place and do everything here. And also we know like probably Skype for Business will die soon. So everything will be Microsoft Teams. So If you
Yeah.
don't know Microsoft Teams, start using and
You have to use it.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
They will
learn
force you to.
something. It's really cool. It's super simple to use Microsoft Teams, and it's really helpful in our day too.
Actually, we have a broadcast tomorrow about Teams, so if you didn't sign up for that, you should probably do it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on.
Yeah, so then in the final, I will show here, we did this. So we have my project here and my schedule. And then out of the box, we have the two links, right? The project site, or down here, you have the project site. So when we click, we are also changing the message here because normally by default, if I click here and I don't have a SharePoint site, we will get like, oh, there is no project site created for this project. So we want to avoid that as well and say, okay, we are redirecting you to your Office 365 groups. And then you will get the group ready to use, connected to your project, and then you get everything. So I have also a small video here that I did today showing that it is working right now. So you just click on project, and then you get the group. So in this case, we are using the project features. As you can see, I have projects and project details available. Then that will involve licensing and so on, but we can do it without that. So then the way I will do, I will just create a link that does the same thing. So when you click, we'll go back to this page if you want. Like, for example, if a project manager wants to go back to the project online, you can click on the button, and then you go back there. So that's the main idea. And it's using Flow. So get to know about Flow or Logic Apps. It's the new features from Microsoft. It's Logic Apps right now using CDS. So you can connect everything and make it work.
Yeah. There's actually two more questions here. Could you? The first one is that could you use the groups as role-level security for Power BI, for instance?
Yes and no, because the Power BI will be connected to the group. But then you need to define how do you want to use the role-level security. So I can get the project custom field, a resource custom field. So if you have the premium license, then we can use the Power BI Connect to the group. But then the role-level security will be applied based on another custom field, let's say that. So we need to define how are we going to control that. So everybody's a project manager on the resource field can access the Power BI. Oh, if you are a member of this project type 1, you can get access on that. So if you have the license, we'll be connected, but the role level needs to be connected to another configuration.
I hope that's a good answer.
Yeah, it's quite technical.
Yeah, well, it's a technical question, and feel free to write to Diego afterwards if you want to discuss it. There's one more question.
Yes.
Could you just elaborate shortly again on the difference between groups and teams? What is what is the main difference between groups and teams?
Actually, Microsoft Teams is a kind of group. So we have three types: Outlook, Yammer, and Microsoft Teams. So then when you create a group by default, it's an Outlook one.
Yeah.
So, but then you can create a Teams that is actually another group that has some specific features for Teams, but you can get everything also from the Outlook group. What we do is, when you have an Outlook group, you can connect the group to a team.
Yeah.
So also, when you open the Microsoft Teams, you can get like connect to a group. Then you can create a new one, another one, or you can connect to existing one.
So to avoid having two groups two of the same groups, you could start creating the Outlook group and then connect it to Teams, or is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then you can use Teams and connect to that group.
Yeah, because we don't want two of the same groups.
No.
Clearly.
No. But I think the question is, I have my Teams here, and I'm already using Teams.
Yeah.
And then I create a project, and I have the group here. What I will do now, I will just connect my Teams to that group. Then you see everything inside my teams here. I think
All
that's
right.
the,
Yeah. Good
what
question.
I understood of the question
Very
was
good
this.
questions, actually. Thank
Yeah.
you for your intelligent questions. We're about to run out of time, so we should.
Yeah, so my final comment is Group is the greatest and latest collaboration tool from Microsoft.
Yeah.
So you should start using right now, and at least to get to know, so, oh, what is Group? So features and test and see. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying to stop SharePoint site. You can continue using SharePoint site and just try the group alone and see the benefits from there. And then later you decide, okay, let's move and connect both and see what is possible to do, combine with everything from Microsoft.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Thank you for a
Welcome.
nice presentation, and thank you for listening and watching out there. Hope to see you tomorrow again here in the broadcast studio. Otherwise, next time, sometime.
Yeah.
Thank you for today.
Thank you. Bye.